What's going on, Archivist? Welcome to the Archivist Almanac, a Grand Archive TCG podcast. I'm your boy Varni, and today I have got Limelight from Creative Shock with me, and we're going to be talking about the various aspects of being a Grand Archive competitor and what it means to really key in and compete in
Yep.
this space.
How are we, Varni? How are you today?
I'm tired, man. But I'm always tired, so.
Hey, I saw you did well on Yeti the other day, so congratulations on that performance, by the way.
Thank you. It was certainly an effort. I was rewatching some of my gameplay, and I'm like, oh man, look at these gaping misplays. Oh, that's so bad, Varni. I was recording the CL gameplay, and I was like, oh gosh, that one was riddled with.
Hey, it's a good thing though. Like being able to record stuff and kind of look back on it is a good way you can kind of learn misplays and learn it for next time as well. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I do it. That's how I did it in Digimon when I first started, and it was the best way to basically be like, all right, cool. This is what I muffed up on, and this is what I need to improve on for next time.
So, yeah, 100%.
So yeah, I normally start these with like a locals recap, but I didn't do any. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go to the banished zone last weekend. And did I even do cake last week? I don't even know if I did cake last week.
It's all a blur. Yeti. All the Grand Archive just melded together.
It really is a blur. The only experience that I have is getting. Oh, I did do Yeti, and I remember Yeti very explicitly because I got to face off against Jimmy Lee, and I was super excited. And then I played a Regal Inquisition at fast speed, and I was like, oh shit, that's not a fast speed. So, and by the time I realized it, I told him, I was like, yo, this isn't fast speed. So like
he's already shown his memory in hand to you already at that point. Like,
I was like, you could just have the win. Like there's no way to like accurately reverse this game state to a way. And it sucks because I was on such a high roll that game and he wasn't. I was like,
that's the worst feeling. Yeah.
So we got to face off against him though. It was cool. We were talking. The other matches I tied against Sylvie.
So you were what deck were you on, Barney?
I'm only ever on Fire Crux Lorraine.
Gotcha. Okay.
It is the only deck that I play right now. I would love to play other decks, but every time I go to try to pick up another deck, I'm just like, but what if I make this change? And what if I still play Fire Crux?
It has been kind of cool because like I've been obviously seeing you on YouTube, and what will happen is I'll open up my my reels or whatever, and main phase TCG will pop up, and it's like, I've just opened my Weaving Manistry. I'm like, he's gaining cards. He's going to start playing different decks at some point because I keep seeing reels of you opening new cards. So,
yeah, I bought all my Weaving. I bought everything for Diana because I was super excited to play Diana when they revealed everything at Worlds. So I want to play Diana, and I have everything to play Diana. Diana is built, and I also have Luxem built, and I also have
Luxem scary
Rye built.
It's really sad though, like because I'm infamously known as the Diana man because I'm the guy who won Singapore Nationals on Diana, right? And I was like, it was like the dark horse, blah blah blah. But after trying the new Diana, I'm actually more interested in Seal. Funnily enough, like Seal's been. I think it's because I think the first Diana, it wasn't that I was the Diana man. I think I was the Umbra man instead. And Seal's Umbra, so it's like I'm kind of sticking to that Umbra push. So yeah, it's been really fun to like try the new decks.
So I played against the Seal deck in that Yeti tournament. I went 3-1, and he didn't have everything that he needed at the time. But if he did, that deck would have been like a problem for me to deal with. Because like siphoning Fractal into Carter, that alone is like, oh man, you're gonna recover like 6 damage,
4, 6, 8,
one swing, and if I'm not careful, like I'm just gonna deal you 6 damage every turn. You're gonna heal 6 damage every turn. Like that's nasty, and I like that a lot. I've always loved the guard. There's one thing I love about Grand Archive is the breadth of diversity in play styles. With the champions especially, because I mean, first of all, it feels like an RPG, and I love RPGs. So like the Guardian class is super awesome. I love Tenoris. I was trying to get a friend in the Grand Archive, and he was like looking through stuff. He was like, "Oh, Tenoris looks cool. I'm like, yeah, Tenoris is cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
But it's cool.
I definitely, so I went from, I played Dragon Ball competitively to begin with, so a Bandai game, just like Digimon yourself. I then went from that to Fab, and I like moved, Fab kind of gave me that like RPG vibe. So it kind of set me up for Grand Archive. I was like, well, this is anime like Dragon Ball, and it's like Fab with a hero. So it was like the best of both worlds. So that's when I got into the Kickstarter at the start, and I was like, I was straight in. I was like, I have to, if I'm going to get in, like, and like, I guess there's a lot of, when you get into a game at the floor, and I'm saying like 6 months before the game came out, we printed out the cards and we're playing at locals, right? Like when you get into that floor, you're like, all right, well, if I'm getting in this early, you've got to commit. And then like we just kind of committed to it, and we've loved it for the last, 2.5, 3 years. So it's been really good.
That's awesome. So you went from playing Fab to playing this. What was it, just because you were interested in it, or was there something that you were dissatisfied with?
Funnily enough, so Fab, I was a 5 player. And I used to go to locals, and I used to verse my store owner. He only played Ice Lexi. It was miserable for me. I hated it. And what happened is, at the time, the Kickstarter was out for Grand Archive, and it was the most funded TCG on Kickstarter at the time. I think there's been other ones now that have beat it, but at that point, it was like 1.8 million Australian dollars, and I was like, I have to buy this so I can sell it. Like anyone says, like this is like a gold mine, right? So I put in, I think I got like 24 first ed boxes, 24 first ed boxes. I'm like, I'll buy it and I'll flip it and I'll make money and I'll use it, whatever, right? But as you know, that's the original plan. And then you open some packs and you play the game. I go back to my wife. I'm like, you know how I did it for an investment? Well, maybe I just opened some boxes and I played like a little bit. And then that is now me here now traveling, every second month overseas to play. So it's been a long journey, and I never thought, I guess, I would be playing the game. But yeah, I commit a lot of time to this game. Way too much time to this game.
I have that problem with TCGs. So good Lord, I started with Card Fight. I think Card Fight Vanguard is probably why I enjoy Kickstarter. Grand Archive as much as I do, because I love the concept of when you're an anime based card game, it just gives you so much room to explore with game mechanics, and the units as well. Vanguard was always really fun and unique. There's like a big RNG element to it because of the triggers, but I think that's also what makes the game extremely unique and fun to play. I wasn't a good card player back then, though, so I felt like I didn't have room for improvement. And Digimon also came out around the same time, and I've loved Digimon forever. So I was like, all right, like on your topic of, if we're gonna jump in, we're gonna like jump in. That's basically what happened with Digimon.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then like Grand Archive came out, and I saw Grand Archive. I saw Grand Archive in one of my LGSs, and I was like, those cards look kind of cool. But nobody ever played it around me, unfortunately. So I never like went hard, because at the time, my friends I was playing Card Fight with, they were only playing Card Fight. It was they were Card Fight players, and it got to the point where like one of them came to play Digimon with us, and they played for a bit, and then they never stopped playing Card Fight, but then they dropped Digimon and went back to Card Fight. So there's no chance I was starting anything else with them.
It's the same thing in Australia, to be honest. Like, Australia is very Bandai orientated. People are playing their One Pieces. They're now all on the Gundam. They're on the Dragon Ball Fusion, but now they've all moved to Gundam. So because Grand Archive was a game that had no IP, there's no story written. They wanted to write a book. They haven't written it yet. But like, it's just you're playing these cool art anime cards, and there is nothing to watch before and after, right? It really didn't hit in many places to start with. It was very hard to get a scene moving. And not to mention, because Weaves of the Shore was such a new company, they didn't have those networking abilities to connect to distributor A, distributor B, distributor C across the world. They had to try and like work their way up. And like Australia was a really tough one, where like we had to try and like get locals running. I got like my mum, my sister, like everyone, like had to get like everyone in that like maybe wasn't as interested as need be, but like you get them in to start that like momentum. And like even then, if you look at like as you said at your store, no one would give it a chance because they have their Bandai, because they have their Vanguard. They're like, oh, it might die in 6 months, and they just don't bother trying in the first place. Which is like that's the problem. And we're now at 2 years. I think it's kind of starting to set in for a lot of people that like, okay, well, it's not going anywhere. Like it's being successful, and like the devs are doing the right thing. So, a lot of new blood and new faces are coming in now because they're starting to realize, well, maybe it's worth a try. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think a lot of people like Digimon was the same way because Bandai never had success with card games. Dragon Ball was their outlier. Battle Spirit. Dragon Ball was their outlier. And then they brought Digimon over. And everybody was, of course, like all the Digimon fans were super excited for Digimon. And it lasted past the 2-year mark. And everybody was like, oh, okay. And then they brought out One Piece. And you're like, okay, sure, I guess. And then they brought out Union Arena. And then they brought out Battle Spirit Saga. And then it's like, okay, all right.
Yeah, they burned me. I love Dragon Ball, but Bandai burned me with the fact that like it felt like to me, like, obviously no hate to other card games, but it just felt like to me that like they were like, oh, pretty new shiny TCG. Let's jump off your old one. And then it's like everyone would jump onto that. And it's like, hey, look, it's now a Demon Slayer TCG coming out. It's like everyone jumps to that. And I just got to a point where I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, I obviously I put a lot of time into Dragon Ball. I used to only play Tien. I wasn't too competitive, but I had a lot of fun. Tien was so fun, like to discard people's hands. But like the fact that everyone kind of would just jump around the Bandai games, it just put me off, and I just had to stop and move on from it pretty much. And that was like, funnily enough, I sold my collection of Masters, and then Fusion was announced like 2 weeks later, and I felt so bad as a person that bought my collection. I didn't know that. I was like, I'm sorry, man, but like, what can I do? You know what I mean? So
I love Dragon Ball as well. Like, I think the gameplay of Dragon Ball it's ridiculously fun. I think they do a lot of the right things. But you can also tell that Bandai's company philosophy is power creep to sell. Because there's just no way you print some of those cards, man. There's just no way. Like I still look at some of the cards that come out for Masters, and I'm like, wow, yeah, that's
page
that's
2 of the card. You have to turn it over to read the rest of the card text. It's like, oh, I see.
Yeah, exactly. I got into Dragon Ball around the time it was set 20. They were introducing the Zenkai block. So they were doing all of the like Z leader and Z deck stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like it was a new mechanic, and it was kind of like you didn't need this, but it was still fun. Like I think that's one thing they really captured with Dragon Ball and even Digimon. Like it's fun. It's just the problem of like it definitely turns some people off because the power creep is the thing. But the other big thing, because I experienced what you experience with Dragon Ball with Digimon right now. They really, I mean, the prioritization of other games.
Yeah. It feels like a rug pull, honestly.
It is.
Yeah.
And it sucks because it's like, I know you're different teams leading up these strategies. It's not like they took your team from Dragon Ball and put you into Digimon, then put you into this other game.
Exactly.
But I don't know if like the budget gets sucked out of them or what. It's just like there's no strategic movement, and it's just like, really, man. Like,
and it's like all your friends will jump to that new game without like blinking, and it's like I just had to sit there and go like, are you not realizing you're spending another $3,000 on the first set, and then you're going to a new game and spending $3,000 on the first set? Like, yeah.
That's my boy Mike. He's I mean, for what it's worth, he's always loved Gundam. So I can at least give him the pass because he's loved Gundam. But like he went from like big Digimon stan, and he doesn't have a locals near him, so I give him a little bit of slack. But he is now full sending into Gundam. Like he was like, I'm not buying any of these cards. I'm gonna buy base rarity everything, and I'm not gonna buy too much, and I'm just gonna play the game and enjoy it with my friends. And we opened boxes, and I pulled like 2 LR pluses, Amarita Cruz, and like a Freedom Gundam or something. He's like, hey Varni, how much you want for those cards? I'm like, you have a problem. For what's worth, I also have a problem. If you couldn't tell by the amount of cards I
of course.
But that is the nature of us card game players.
Yeah. True.
So now we're here with Grand Archive. So
now we're here.
The Quicksilver Cup. So tell me what went into, obviously the Quicksilver Cup's been coming up for, I guess for rewind. For anybody who's listening and they don't know what the Quicksilver Cup is, what is the Quicksilver Cup?
Yep. So it was a event that was hosted in Auckland, New Zealand. It is the first of its kind. So normally we obviously have our local scene, we have our store championships, we have our regionals, we have our Ascents, nationals, and worlds. But they kind of put this in. It's not a regionals, but it's not an Ascent. It's in the middle, and they fronted 15,000 prize pool. So like it's as much money as you would normally get at an Ascent, pretty much. But there's just no spirits. Which is obviously like, spirits is a big deal, but I guess that's where you kind of find that point in the middle. So me and five other Australians flew over. So 6 of us total. 5 of us were from Creative Shock, and yeah, we prepared pretty hard for it. We grinded pretty hard. We probably were playing 5 hours a day for the last 2.5 weeks. Which is a lot. And I had a really spicy deck. My deck was super spice, and I did the funny thing that I pre-recorded the deck list, deck guide, and I said to Justin, I'm like, all right, just post it on the day because like whatever, either way. And I said in the deck guide, I was like, this deck is bad into Luxem. I need to avoid Luxem. And I was 3-0 day one, and then I versed the Luxem and I lost. And then I versed the Luxem and I lost. And then I was tilted. So then I lost to the high roll of an Ensol. And then I versed Yamakin. Yamakin's one of the like top New Zealand players. So he had a bad day as well. So we're both 3-3. I sit down. I'm like, why am I versing you at 3-3 round 7? Like, why is this a thing? And then he destroyed me at that point. I'm just like, this is just not my day. But we did have some good performances. So Creative Shock JR won the event on his Suzaku deck. Him and Min spent a lot of time on that Suzaku deck. It's
KFC.
KFC, yeah. And obviously I had high hopes for my deck, and everyone came up to me and was like, what happened? And I just kept saying, hey, Bobulus is on the same deck. He came 15th. So it works. It just wasn't my day.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, it was a good event. Like there was it was interesting because there's only 80 people. Now normally for a regional event, they don't how like with the Ascents and stuff, they say, all right, you need 15 points to day 2 now. Like that's how it works.
Yes.
So what they did for this is they gave us 14 points to make day 2, but it's not an Ascent event, which is really interesting. So 14 points to make day 2 with 80 people. Most people ID'd 4 times after they were at 4 wins just to get day 2, which I think that they maybe should have made it a higher points per day 2, or maybe should have just done a top cut. I don't know how I felt about that. But yeah, it was 3-0. The next win I was into day 2, and then we spiraled out from there. But it's all right. We fixed the deck. We've fixed the sideboard. I'm probably bringing it to Taiwan webcam this weekend, so maybe I can update you, Varni, after Taiwan webcam if it's better or not into Luxem.
All right. I mean, that's the goal, right? And I never really thought about Luxem. And then I was watching, I don't remember which particular video I was watching. It might have been, I was watching a CL video.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been the CL video. And they were like, yeah, I only play null. Somebody said it, whether it's CL or not. Somebody said I only play null for Lantern. And I was like, or null for Luxem. And I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, how much am I going to hate facing Luxem? Because I've never faced Luxem anywhere. And I'm like, I don't want it to be like this supreme drag fest. Even if I think I can beat them, maybe I should just have the card that helps the matchup immensely in my sideboard. So I ended up putting null in.
So a lot of people, I guess, like everyone sees these Rala decks, and they obviously you yourself have seen the power of a Rala deck, and they don't connect that a Luxem deck with 15 cards in hand. If 8 of them are Luxem, then you're putting 8 cards down his turn. So it's at that point you're nearly not able to interact with their turn. And Luxem's the only deck in the game where they have a card that says deal damage based on how many cards are in your memory. Lightweaver's Assault, right? So a Luxem's Ender with 15 cards is a Luxem's Ender doing 35 damage with you having your hand down, because it's like Thieving Cut for 3, you put down 2, they like turbocharge, draw 2, then they like double Lightweavers, and it's like 11-11, and they'll reveal some and deal some. You know what I mean? Like it's very, very strong. And I don't know, like Luxem, luckily the aggro kind of beat them. But I think if they tune Luxem in the coming meta, that Luxem, if once Luxem can beat aggro, which I think they can, it's going to be very hard to stop, I think.
Is the key for Luxem against aggro to kind of just turbo into level 3 and start healing?
Yeah. So the same with my Advent Seal deck. Like I can beat aggro as well, as long as I can obviously turbo. Sensors obviously it makes it a bit harder, but even then, even if you get censored, you just literally slam down a 1 cost, level up, slam down a 2 cost, level up. Hope you have Dungeon Guide. Otherwise, just back up charge and level up. So you don't really have that time. But once Luxem's at level 3, they get to reveal that Gleaming Cut and draw 2. They get to reveal that Luxem Sight and heal 3. They get to reveal the Lightweavers and deal 2 to an ally. Like they start to stabilize.
Right.
And these level 3 decks that are running Serene Fire, they don't need their fire cards at level 3. So like once you're level 3, you don't care about your Serene anymore. That's just 6 heal whenever you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same with my deck as well. Like I run my Crave Shocks, my Rile the Abysses, and my Hasty Messengers. But like once I'm level 3, like I'm slamming Carters and I'm slamming Balefuls, and I don't really care about my fire cards anymore. You know what I mean?
I was watching that video and I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, how do you play Advent of the Stormcaller? And then I read Baleful Ablation and I was like,
yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, that's 15 damage. That's a lot.
It's not only is it 15 damage, it is a 3-cost fast 15 damage that doesn't target. So it kills a Shenju, kills Genbu, kills Seiyuu. It goes through Innovate Agility. Nice. It goes like I versed a guy today. I versed a Wind Turbo Dragon today, and I sat there with my Advent Banished, and I sat there with my Baleful, and he like got excited. He flipped his dragon up, and he like harnessed lightning to made it 8 damage. And he like Seiyuu's commanded it, and he swings at me for 8. I'm like, yep, he'll die. I steal 15 to it, and he's like, oh, like that's it. Like he can't do anything at that point. So, although I went to locals last night, there was some Jins around Varni, which was interesting. I wasn't really prepared for it because I tried to do my 15 damage and I miscounted and I put them at 34.
Oh no!
And I just got blown up.
No.
I got blown up. I was like, "Oh, Jin's scary. Jin's scary. Actually scary."
I'm very interested to see what people do with Jin, especially because now it also has the Rile package. I mean, it's not like it. I know one of its weaknesses is kind of just the fact that like you're not Lorraine. You don't just get a pole arm at level 1. And then
its weakness was Genbu though. Like its weakness was what would happen is the water deck would sit there. They would do nothing, and they'd be like, haha, you're at 0 life, and they'd mill you out. But like, water's gone right now. There's no water. Like, who knows? Boston, it might have reappeared, but currently there's no water. So Jin, without water, Jin's in a better spot because you're not scared of the Fracture Rise on the plate. You're not scared of getting milled out. Game 2 against that Jin player, I didn't do any damage. I'm like, I'm just going to wait, and I'm going to like double Baleful and like one-shot them in their end step. But then I didn't realize Huaji just deals 10 damage to themselves once it flips. So it's like, I don't even have to, like, they just deal damage to themselves at that point. I'm like, well, I can't wait because they're just going to kill me anyway. So, it's crazy to think about. Jin could be a thing, which is kind of exciting.
It is. I'm super excited for Jin. That somebody else I'm trying to get to GA, he's interested in Jin. And I'm like, so if Jin can be good, I can be like, yo, here's this guy with a pole arm. Play the guy with the pole arm and the Berserker plate. I like Jin a lot.
Tryndamere, I call him. For new players, I go, this is a Tryndamere deck. He just doesn't die. And they're like, yeah, that's cool. And then they'll buy the starter deck and they'll get like Fracture Eyes on the plate. They're like, oh, never mind. Yeah, it's like, because he is one-dimensional at the end of the day. That's his downfall, right? But if there's no one playing the counter, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. If he's going to hit you for like 40, everything in one turn, I mean, he's going to hit you for everything in one turn. Ain't nothing you can do about that.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But look, like, I guess in regards to meta, like obviously I've been ranting away from Quicksilver Cup, but in regards to meta, like I think that there are a lot of exciting things we're going to see at Boston. Like I think I played some Fire Kongming. I don't think anyone's even heard of a Fire Kongming before. That's fun with Ryle. Ryle is unlocking so many different opportunities for old decks to kind of pop back up, which like, although I hear all the complaining about Ryle, it's cool to have a fresh meta where who knows? It could be a Fire Terra Sylvie winning Boston. Like you actually have no idea. There could be a Fire Neos Tony that just like one shots people or something. Like the package gives so much chances to those decks that kind of have that slow start but have cool end game cards we've never seen before.
So the entire premise of Ryle is them saying we want level 3 strats to be stronger. And I mean,
then Suzaku won with Riley Abyss in the deck.
And then you have that, but at least it's still an inherent buff to every level 3 deck.
Yes.
There's not a level. There's probably just a small amount of level 3 decks that don't necessarily benefit from playing Rao. Obviously, because you do have to lean into playing the fire package. And some decks, they're maybe level 3 water or wind stress.
Of course. Yeah.
But for the most part, I mean, I got into the game playing Fire Crux. And I was playing Fire Crux when we weren't like struggling because Jimmy Lee's the GOAT and, Jimmy Lee does Jimmy Lee things. But playing the deck, I'm like, yeah, I can see why like not everybody plays this deck because, it's not as easy wins as some other decks are. And now, I mean, shit, you can play Ensol because you can just draw into everything that you need.
And that's the thing as well, is that like we've obviously seen a lot of Ensol, we've seen a lot of Merlin. That's not because they're the strongest Ral decks. That's because they're the easy ones to start with. Like the stepping into this whole level 3 meta, the first thing a person's going to do that's either new to the game or even like not new but wants to have like a consistent result is that they'll grab the deck that did well without Ryle and they'll add the package. And there's no chance of like failure, right? Because like the consistency was already there. You're just buffing it. So Quicksilver Cup having so many Ensol and Merlins, that's just like a safety. Like it's like, okay, first event, let's play safe. But once you get like in the middle of this season, I guarantee you the people like Jimmy Lee, like Creative Shock players, like Chess Club, True Champion Gaming, they're going to come out with decks that aren't the safe plays. They're going to be decks that have never been seen before, I hope. Like Fire Dao-Chan level 3 and stuff like this. Like I think this stuff is going to come out of the woodwork because while everyone's kind of playing these Ensols and Merlins, you've got the actual cookers of the community probably grinding like we did with Advent Seal. We were literally, me and Bob would talk. Like I'd be at work and I'd be like, hey Bob, what do you think of beguiling in the sideboard? He's like, nah, horrible. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, hey Bob, what about we take one Advent out and we had like one, you know what I mean? Like all day, every day, it's like trying to make these new decks. And like that's the fun part, right? Is making all these new stuff. Sure. So
yeah, cool. I do enjoy that process a lot. If I was a little bit more adventurous, I too would be trying to brew something else up. But I think right now I'm just trying to like put fundamentals down and try like, to.
Varni, you're new to the game as well, though. You know what I mean? Like, I think it takes a foundation. Like when, for example, when I make a fire deck or when most people make a fire deck, there's a core following. It's like a little cookbook, right? You open like your fire cookbook and you go, all right, 16 float, 4 creators, 4 hasties, 3 cremations. You know, like I instantly put that in every fire deck I've played since DOA, since I played Fire Prismatic back in the day, like at the very start, right? So like once you've played that long where you know the exact schematic of a deck, it's more opportunity to become adventurous. And that, I think that's the situation with some people, newer players, and like it's a struggle. Some newer players that haven't been in the game as much and want a deck build, they'll play like either 24 float or they'll play like, a card that maybe isn't seen play as much or no dungeon guide. And like it can be disheartening not to know that schematic. And that's why I always say to like my new players and my new friends, like I know it's kind of boring. Make a wind allies, learn the values of the game, understand the values of the game. You only have to chuck like 35 allies in that. You don't have to think about like float counts and like you don't have to go on like I go on the MTG thermo calculator every time I make a deck and I see like the percentages of drawing everything. So, like I do that with every deck, right? Yeah. So that stuff's like it's not new player friendly, but like once you have the values, that's when you go, okay, I understand how this deck works. Maybe I can now build this, and this. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I think that's definitely like my biggest thing because Ascent Boston next week, and then 2 months is Niagara, and I fully anticipate going to both because I'm in driving distance to both. Which is the other reason. It like works out. I was like watching Worlds, and I was like, oh, there's an event in Boston.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another event in Niagara Falls. Maybe
that way and that way.
Maybe I should try to play this game a little bit
think so.
more. So I'm super excited for those, and I'm like, just want to go. I mean, at the end of the day, it's always for me, it's to go and have fun. And I know for most people it's the same. Winning is part of the fun. I think that can. I think some people get like tied up in that. It's like, well, you want to win. It's like, yeah, you can win and have fun.
Correct.
And also
correct. I think the overstressors are the ones that kind of spiral out more. Exactly, they get tilted. Like I feel, there's a small few that kind of, I guess, have, once you've played in a lot of events, there's the same like 30 people that have probably played in every ascent. And those people can go, and I can sit there and I can have a chat with you, Varni, how you going? And I can play my Optimum limes and stuff like that. Where the newer, like the people that haven't done that, they get a bit more stressed. Oh, I've paid this much money to come here. I need to do well. And they're the people that like they get that loss round 3 or 4 and they spiral out. And then from there, it's kind of hard to come back. So I think it's like I say to all my friends and everyone I speak to, like it is a marathon. Like tournaments are a marathon. It's not a sprint. Your first tournament, you're not going to go 7-0. You're going to go 3-0. You're going to go over your lunch break. You're going to come back and be a little bit more disorientated and not as focused. And you'll spiral out most of the time. That happens quite often with a lot of people that can't do that whole day. And then you've got like the Quiraxes or the Sean, Life Dristle. Life Dristle, one event, played PoE 2 all night. He didn't sleep the night before. Literally no sleep, 36 hours up. He came in I think he lost the first round as well. It was like a horrible start. But like he's played in every event. So he just sat there and went like 7 wins in a row after that, made day 2. Like people like that, it's just different, you know what I mean? Like they've played so much of the game and so many times in this event, it's just the same old thing, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's crazy. Yeah, I guess it takes like building that kind of stamina to play for a long period of time.
It definitely does. Coming from Digimon, most of our tournaments obviously the game started during COVID. So we were online tournaments only for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Before we actually started getting, I think our first IRL event was the first nationals, and then it went back to online only events.
Oh wow!
The second IRL event was another nationals. There's like 2 years of solid online play, and then we finally started getting some more online events, and I mean they have more or offline events, and they have more this year. And we went to one in Virginia, and it was definitely like an experience. It's such a different feeling when it's you in front of somebody and compared to like me looking at the screen, because I feel like I have that problem very often. I just let things, I may not pay full attention to things just because it's on the screen. And sure, the screen's right in front of me, but I don't know, when the cards are like right there, like I only have one thing to look at. I'm like hyper analyzing your board. Yeah. So it's rare that something like slips by me. And it did in that Digimon regionals I went to, and I lost myself a match on stream, which was like, I didn't even like realize it at the moment, which was the most infuriating part. Yeah. It was the fact that I had to like watch back and see people say, damn, Varni got misplayed on that. And I was like, no, I'm dumb. Yeah. But generally speaking, like I catch those things, because the worst part was I didn't catch that then, but I caught that same play like 2 rounds later.
Yeah, because you learned from it, right?
No, I didn't even like.
Oh, you didn't even realize yet. I got you. You didn't even realize yet. Yeah.
It's just it's in my mind, and I know that
player
you can't
just got
do
lucky.
that.
Is what you're saying. That player just got lucky.
It was that. It's the worst part, because I'm sitting there like this.
You rolled a 1 on perception, Varni.
It was a nat 1 perception on stream. I don't know. Something put me off my game on stream for sure. I generally don't have problems because like I stream and I do a bunch of stuff like on camera, so I don't.
Stream
feel
is
like
nerve-wracking for a lot of people normally, though. Like people used to refuse to accept stream games in Grand Archive events, and they made a disclaimer and a policy that you're not allowed to decline them anymore. So yeah, it's crazy, right? It's like because people would just not want to play on stream.
I mean, I get it. I've grown comfortable with it though, so I don't feel like I put myself in a mentality where I was like, oh, I'm so nervous because I'm on stream. I think I just got too comfortable.
Complacent. Yep.
Yeah. And just, I got too comfortable, and it led to, I think that's really what it is. Normally, like, I hate that I'm like this, but it's just the way that like I focus best. Whenever I'm playing a tournament, I'm always like, it's straight face, it's poker face. And I generally look like I have resting bitch face because I'm just sitting there like, and it's not because
opposite. I overly talk. And I think overly talking sometimes throws your opponent off. Actually, I talk casually.
Yes.
if someone asks for something, take something back, I let them, like, obviously if it's going to win the game, I won't. But like most of the time, I'm like, yeah, all good, bro. Like I'm just having fun. But like I'm playing the optimum lines the whole time. And I think sometimes they can become too relaxed by having like a nice friendly player. And then it's like, oh, you're dead. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah, no, but that's definitely a thing. Like the sort of like in-person theatrics, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
Like it definitely means a lot more than just like two people behind the screen.
Yeah, I agree.
Playing.
There's more to the game. There is a lot of psychological warfare in TCGs. Like, and I try to explain to new players. A lot of new players will, they'll play an ally they don't need to, and they'll put their whole hand down. As like a water player, let's say, he'll pay 3 for a lurking, he'll put a lurking down, right? And I'm like, just hold 3 cards up. Like, I know this lurking is doing 2 damage, but if you hold those 3 to 4 cards up, I have to play around like 5 different things on my turn. If you put these cards down, like, and he's like, but I don't have a frostbite. I'm like, I don't know that. Just pretend you have it. And like I'll sit there and I'm dead to the world. Like I'm dead this turn, and I'll sit there and I'll be like, yep, let me thinking of response. And I'm looking at like two favorable wins, right? Or 2 lurking assailants. I'm like, yep, let me think. No response. And like, honestly, Varni, people will pass. And then you win, and you're like, oh, I didn't have anything, by the way. And it's like, it is a thing. It works. It happens all the time. And it's like, you hit a skill gap in Grand Archive where like 2 pro players, like when I was at Worlds last year, it's not about like, you know, the optimum lines, your opponent's optimum lines. It's literally just chicken and mouse where you're like, okay, does he have it? Does he not have it? And like, you've got to just either go for it or not go for it. And that's what it becomes. It just becomes like a chicken game of who has it and who doesn't have it and who's bluffing, who's not. It's great.
It's like poker.
Yeah, literally.
It's all about your poker face. That's one thing. Like we didn't have interaction in Digimon for the longest time. We got interaction. We finally got interaction. And then it was like, all right, cool. Now I can start playing these games. Because before you just couldn't. Because it was just each player's turn.
I'm dead. I'm not dead.
Turn. Yeah. Exactly. But now it's like, they're like, oh, I'll swing. And I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have shit in hand. I'm just like,
yeah.
Do I want to let this go through or do I not want to let this go through? Wait,
and
maybe I should.
They're like, oh my God, what does he have?
Yeah, exactly. It's like that. Most times I'm just like, listen, just swing out. Just, it is what it is. Just swing out. And some players won't, like you said. Some players do. And then they're like, what did you have? I'm like, I didn't have anything.
The new players will swing. The new players will swing out and I'll lose to the new player. And I'm like, you shouldn't swing out there. You should respect my hand. And you didn't. And now I lose. And I'm really upset about it.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that with Grand Archive. I mean, it's the famous question, right? Cards in hand tells you everything about what your opponent can or can't do.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes, they'll play that one-off card that you have no knowledge of. You don't know what's coming. But
surprise, cards
in hand, they got 3 and they're a water player.
Frostbite, Fracture Eyes, Song of Frost, like.
So I mean, against any player, cards in hand, 3.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have enough for a resolute, but they could just skip their next draw phase. So let's try to push through it. Like it's those things, and yeah, there's so much mental.
So makes the game great.
Yeah, it really does. And that's why I love playing card games in person, because I'm the type of, I don't get frazzled by that because I have the RBF.
Yeah.
And I always feel like I'm like super unwelcoming to players. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If you catch me outside the match, I'm good. But once I'm in the match, it's just
robot. You're just a robot.
Yeah, exactly.
So how are you, Varni? I'm good. I'm good.
I'm good.
Your turn.
No, actually, I'll put on the smile. I'll be like, yeah, it's fine. It'll be like, so like, where are you from? I'm like, oh, I'm from Pennsylvania, yada, yada, yada. But it's like no amount of like anything can really make me uncomfortable, because I know I'm in my zone and I got to focus on this match because I'm always trying to think about what's going to happen next. And I'm trying to map out my next turn while they're doing their turn. Or if they drop this, I'm like, all right, I've got to remove that. I've got to pull into this card from the top of my deck.
The lines.
If I don't
You're thinking of your lines.
Then,
yep.
Yeah, exactly. Thinking of the lines. And yeah, I love Grand Archive. It's great for that. I'm sure I would have loved Yu-Gi-Oh! I said this in like my first podcast. I'm sure I would have loved Yu-Gi-Oh! I didn't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitively at all because my parents.
Yeah, I never touched it. I think I touched it as a kid. I watched it last. I watched it last year as a joke with my friends on like YouTube, and they like did like 25 things in their first turn. They like played, searched their deck, played, searched their deck. I said to my friend, I'm like, at this point, why do they even shuffle their decks? They literally just have it face up and they're looking at it every second. I'm like, do you not just both sit there and just play your whole deck out? So I think like apparently old Yu-Gi-Oh was good. I heard some NorCal guys and SoCal guys are playing like Yu-Gi-Oh on the side for fun, like old school Yu-Gi-Oh. But yeah, after watching the World Championships last year, I was like, yeah, this is crazy now. It's like you just lose game turn one.
I don't keep up with modern Yu-Gi-Oh at all.
Yeah.
I watch Master Duel because Master Duel is the same way. But I don't know. It's digital. I guess that's all it has going for me. But I'm sure I would have liked those sort of like find the play lines Yugi
Dark Magician attack.
Exactly. And I get that in Grand Archive where I don't get that in other games. Because even like even Dragon Ball has that. Even Dragon Ball, you have to be like, all right, I'll attack, but you know, something could pop out in your turn, like Omega Shenron. You can just activate. No, wait, is it Omega Shenron? I don't even remember anymore.
I was a massive fan in Dragon Ball. One of my favorite players was Poan, and he was known as Wang Po at the time because he versed Andrew Duval in the final World Championship semifinals, and he played like this ape card that no one plays in green. I said win because Grand Archive in green. And like when you play it, like KOs a card or whatever, and he like shocked everyone, and it was like a massive upset, and he got called Wang Po after that because it was like pow, you know what I mean? And then I versed him in Singapore nationals finals, me versus Poan. And I was fangirling the whole time about Dragon Ball while we were playing the finals of nationals. I'm like, hey man, it's really good to verse you. Like, I'm a big fan. He had no idea who I was. I'm like, hey man, big fan. Love you in Dragon Ball. Here's my Diana Taserlock and here's my Creeping Torment. You're dead, but yeah, it's like, I love you, bro. But like, it's like, I guess it's that kind of feeling where like, there's a lot of players from those other games that have come to Grand Archive now. There's a lot of like big professional players that have moved into Grand Archive. Like, it's actually insane.
Yeah, I see that a lot, and so I'm trying to tell like my boy. I'm like, yo, like you like Yu-Gi-Oh. Look at all these other players that are like getting into
They've all gone here. Yeah,
you would like it. He refused. He said Digimon's his last TCG. So I'll never get him into the Grand Archive, unfortunately.
One day,
hopefully, maybe Dan will be my co-host. Like, I keep making that joke with him now. We do our Digipod podcast together, and I'm like, maybe if I joke about it enough, it'll just
he'll be like, screw it, I'll give it a go. Yeah. enough like shots of tequila.
Maybe he'll be my co-host one day. All right, but we're at about 40 minutes for this pod. It's about where we like to wrap it up at. So do we have any parting words for the audience, Limelight?
I think that my whole gist for the last 2 weeks has been just build the funny stuff now before the meta starts. Like, take your time to build the funny stuff. The funny stuff becomes the good stuff. Advent Seal was the funny stuff, and then we played it a lot and we're like, wait, it's actually good. You know, Silidar has once said that there's not enough cookers in Grand Archive. There's a lot of people that follow the meta and not many people that make the meta. There's only like maybe 10 people that are trying to make new decks and make the meta, it feels like. Go and make decks and play them and try them out. There's so many things apparently out there that we, in the past sets, that we never tried that should have been meta. So we just need to play the funny stuff and realize it's good, pretty much. I versed a guy at Quicksilver Cup. He played Razorgale Tristan. He went Razorgale turn 1, Quicksilver Grail, Razorgale turn 2, pop Quicksilver Grail, Poison Dagger, level 1 Tristan, pop Poison Dagger, and his Razorgales are doing 8 damage a turn. And I sat there, I'm like, this is so cool. As I'm dying, I'm like, wow. I was in awe of his deck. And he's like, yeah, I made it myself. I've been playing it for like 3 months now, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that type of stuff there is like the innovation we need. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real. I can't wait. It's what are we in? We're in set 8 or 7?
8, 7, 8, 7?
7, because 9 is Capstone. 7. So Phantom Monarchs and then Capstone. I'm excited for the Capstone. I can't wait to see like,
let's get Riot back online.
They really tie everything back together, and I think it'll be a big set, and especially with like the growth that the game is seeing currently.
It's nice. Crazy. I've been trying to like,
it's crazy. Post on like Reddit, because like coming from Digimon, I know I said we were going to end pod, but I'll talk a little bit more.
A little bit, yeah. We're having fun.
Coming from Digimon, we have so many places that we can talk about the game. We have the Facebook group, which is the doesn't have the best takes most of the time, but it's still a group where people can talk about things. We have Reddit where people post the card reveals and they talk about just random bullshit. And then, of course, there's the various Discord groups. And so coming into Grand Archive, you know, I thrive. Facebook and Reddit are platforms that I'm on all the time for various reasons.
Reddit's very quiet in Grand Archive, I think.
It is. And I've been trying to make it a little bit more active. And I see it becoming a little bit more active is nice now. Every time I hop on Reddit, I typically see like two new posts for the day from Grand Archive, which is fantastic to see because before I really wasn't seeing that at all.
Yeah.
The growth that the game is seeing is cool. Facebook is still dead.
Yeah. Discord is, everyone's on Discord. Everyone's on their own group chats. I think that we are growing insanely quick. Like Japan, 700 tickets sold going. I think they're going to make 800 tickets sold. Like that is, I think I saw a bus in Japan had a Grand Archive ad on the side. Did I see that or was I dreaming it?
No, that's a real thing. I was like, huh?
That's crazy. It's crazy.
And it's cool. I was like, man, that's something Bandai games could never if you're not named One Piece.
Never. Too much money.
Really, right. Too much money to put our face on the side of a
they're a small indie company, all right? You got to give them some credit, okay?
Right. Right. Yeah, I love all these little things that like Weebs is doing. And I'm excited. I really am excited for more people to start playing the game because I mean, for me, I may not have a locals that's like, oh, cool, I can just drive like 10, 15 minutes to get to one. But if I wanted to drive, and I do drive like 45 minutes to an hour, there's currently 6 different locals I can get to.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
I want to say 4 days of the week.
Nice.
It's a Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, and a Friday. So yeah. Typically like 3 to 4 days a week. And there's another place that's trying to start one up, which would make it a 7th place on a Monday. So I'm like, all right, this is cool. I don't want to drive 40 minutes all the time.
Yeah.
But I can't get anything better right now. And just the fact that there's
This is like me failing geography, obviously. Is it the western side of America or the eastern side of America?
Eastern side of America.
Yeah, eastern side. Okay, I think the western struggled originally. The west of America didn't really get much going. And I think they're still a bit quiet, but east is popping off a lot.
Well, the West, unfortunately, like at least on the East, like where I live, it's about an hour to Philadelphia. It's about an hour-ish, an hour 20 maybe to New York City. We have Washington, D.C. not too far from us. Various big cities in Maryland. Boston, obviously 6 hours. Niagara Falls is 6 hours.
Are you going to drive the 6 hours to the events? Sheesh.
So
on
it's
the
not
day off.
So it's
are you gonna wake up and drive to the tournament?
No, I am not. I don't think I'll ever be that crazy.
Turns up like this. Like I'm out. I'm ready to play.
Nah, I think one of it's funny that generally speaking, it is cheaper to drive most places, even if it's like a 12-hour drive in America, than take the plane.
That's crazy.
Especially depending on where you live.
Wow.
I have an airport near me, but they don't have direct flights to a lot of places. So I would have to go either to Philadelphia or Newark, New Jersey, but those are like an hour drive, and then I have to pay for the parking. And when you add in how much you're paying for parking per day, as well as just the hour driving, I mean, you could probably just spend less. And just drive.
Just drive. Yeah. Stay at night.
Like, I want to go out to the Michigan regionals that True Champion Gaming is hosting.
Yeah.
And it's, if I were to drive that's like 12 hours.
Ugh.
It's like 10 to 12 hours.
And it's 12 hours back too. It makes me even sadder.
Exactly. So I'm looking at the flights and I'm like, can I do the flight? But then the flight ends up being like, and it's not like too much in the grand scheme of things, but it's just enough for me to be like, do I really want to fly that? Or do I rather just drive it? Because then you need to get Ubers, depending on where you are, if you can't get a hotel close enough. And is the hotel cheap enough? And
correct. That's the hard part. The hotels sometimes are so expensive. Yeah. Yeah.
And luckily, like I got my hotel for Boston, like before because they went up a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, cool. I locked mine in. I think I'm paying like a little bit less than 600 US for 3 nights. And I just locked in my Niagara hotel for about 500.
Nice. Yeah.
And if I add a flight into that, that basically like doubles the cost to $1,000.
Yeah, and it's like, at that point, it's like, is it worth it? Yeah.
It is. Is it worth it? Because I'm like, if I just spend 6 hours driving, I will have my car. I can leave anytime. I don't have to worry about missing a flight. All the things that goes into flying.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, but sometimes I personally, I like the comfort of having my vehicle and
100%.
not having to Uber or rent a vehicle or worry about how am I going to get here.
We've had a few events where we've flown into the regionals and then we're flying out that afternoon and they'll have like some delays and stuff. There was an Adelaide regionals where I was undefeated and the plane was leaving in like 45 minutes and we had one round left.
Oh,
and
no.
I went thank God, Devon. Love you, Devon, if you watch this. Good friend of mine. It was me versus him. I'm like, hey, bro, I need to leave in like now, 20 minutes. Do you want to just split first and second? You can keep the playmat. And then we just handshaked. I'm like, all right, can I have my stuff? And then I just left and caught a plane back. Because I'm like, it's so hard, like you said, and the anxiety I have, it's like, okay, well, if I miss that flight back, it's not worth it anymore traveling here because I've spent like $200-$300 to fly there. The smoke bombs or whatever it is only worth like $5 or $6. If I have to pay another $200-$300 to fly back, then it's just been a wash. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And when you're factoring in like obviously topping and winning events and you get that pricing, if you're factoring that into your calculation, you're like, all right, well, I can do this because I'm essentially doing it for free. Once money starts coming out your pocket, then it's like,
Yep. Then my wife says, hey, you need to stop going to events. me and my wife have a deal ever since the beginning, ever since Houston Ascent. I said, look, if I don't do well, I won't do another trip overseas. And then I top 8 at Houston. I use that money to go to Santa Clara or Ontario. And then like I've just done the leapfrog where like every time I cash in, or even if I don't do well, I sell cards at the event. I'm like, all right, hey babe, I've come back with this money. I can go to the next event. So I just keep leapfrogging. But the moment I like lose really bad, and I go like $2-3 grand down, it'll be game over probably. So
right, I think that's a fair way to approach it as well. Because like I know the wife doesn't mind me doing whatever with my card game endeavors.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, when you're paying $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 and you're traveling overseas, it does have to, at a certain point, it has to feel like it's worth something.
Correct.
And to come out of it with nothing is like, I spent money on a vacation. I'm sorry.
By myself, without you.
Exactly. I'm so sorry. So
I can't put food on the table tonight, but I had a good time in America.
Exactly. So that is now it for this episode of the Archivist Almanac. Thank you guys for listening. If you like this episode, please do drop a like, drop a comment, letting me know what you guys thought and also topics you'd like to hear me talk about in upcoming podcasts. And also subscribe so that you know when future videos come out. And most importantly, go check out the Creative Shock channel because they're a bunch of awesome guys and they've got some great content that you guys should most certainly be checking out if you are wanting to expand your knowledge about the Grand Archive universe. But that is it for today's episode of the Archivist Almanac. Thank you guys for listening, and until I talk to you guys next time, peace out.
Bye.